Hello everybody and welcome back to Rogue Tech, where I just went back in the changelog a little bit because there was a patch and I was curious. You know that first aid ability that popped up an episode or two ago? I was looking back through the changelog at that. Let's see if we can see that. Actually, it would be in our barracks here. Let's see if we can see it popping up here. I don't think we can. Regardless, all pilots, according to the patch notes, should now have the first aid ability. Now, according to what I'm reading in the patch notes, that first aid ability has to be used at the beginning of your turn. It stops the bleeding for 1 turn, and it ends the turn for that pilot. So what's the point? All it does is expose them to fire for another turn, right? Like, if it staved the bleeding off for 2 turns or 3 turns, then yeah, it'd be great. Maybe too good. But for 1 turn, that means that your entire time of first aiding, like your entire time bought by the first aid, is used up by using the first aid. So what exactly is the point there? Maybe the patch notes are in error. I'm not sure. But let's go through here and see if there's any training to be done. There is not. Let's hop into the mech bay here. Nothing to be done here. I'm not shocked by this. Let's just go ahead and deploy. And that's my current feeling on first aid. I'm not sure I would ever use it because all it would do is expose us to fire for another turn. This here is what I'm kind of thinking about running. This is a potentially dangerous mission, but we gotta take these if we're going to work our way up. So we're going to be utilizing the Javelin here, right? Now that we actually can, again. We're going to be using the Javelin, and who do we have that has Javelin affinities? Was that Rain? No, Rain is in the Stinger. I guess nobody here has Javelin affinities, so we'll just toss, say, Kraken in there. Okay, that'll do. Yep, I'm aware, Darius. It should be fine, in theory. This is a defend-based mission, so we should have turrets on our side, we should have at least 2 vehicles on our side, and we may have as much as an entire lance of allies on our side. So that will be absolutely wonderful, if true. And we'll see what the enemy vanguard ends up looking like. Hopefully it'll be a little less awful than the last one. It was not the best salvage. How did I prioritize this? Did I prioritize this just as... I think I prioritized this as 5 of the priority salvages, which is fine. That is pretty much what we're going for, but I just can't remember all of a sudden. But yeah, I wanted to talk about that, a little bit of weirdness with the first aid ability. I feel like the Rogue Tech modders haven't really thought that one through, because I don't see a point behind ever using it, at least as presented in the patch notes. Maybe if it doesn't work quite the way that it was presented in the patch notes, maybe it would be okay, but I don't feel like it is. So anyway, we're going to defend this base here. There's a propaganda facility, we've got allies, and we've got turrets. Okay, sounds good to me. I would love to deploy down over here. Like that. Okay. Boy, that's interesting. I'm glad I didn't deploy where it asked us to.
Ready for action.
Okay, they're not going to do any damage there. That's an Arbiter. What all do we see up here? We don't really have any sensors right now. We're going to reserve, of course, and we're going to let them move up and do what they're going to do this turn. If they shoot down a building, they shoot down a building. But nope. That is not what they're going for. Excellent. We're going to continue to reserve. Mobile HQ moves up. And there's an enemy out there we don't see. Yeah, it'll be probably this guy, yeah. That's a whole lot of missing. Fantastic. So we're definitely seeing some ECM type things here. That's an allied hunchback. Fascinating. And an allied thorn. No hits there. Okay. I'm going to continue to reserve here. This Arbiter moves in phase 10. Cyclone is going to miss. Wonderful. And what else do we got here? Okay. Completely irrelevant. That's fine. Looks good to me. We're going to move up with our Clint at this point, and our Clint does, of course, have the variable range targeting. Oh, I wanted to see this. Yeah, use this ability to reduce bleeding rate for 1 turn. So, that tooltip doesn't really elucidate anything that would make that worth using as of right now. I am going to check to see 3 evasive pips and 6 evasive pips. We are going to move up to here. Yeah, this guy hasn't moved yet, and that's okay. I'm going to move up to here, and we're going to engage this jerk. Now, we're probably not going to hit. I think we'll be better off in short-range targeting. Yes, we are. We'll give this a go. We might get a couple of hits in here. Okay, 6 damage. That'll do. Our friend the Dervish moves up. It's not going to get any damage in round 1 here.
I hear ya.
Our stealth is going to also work on closing in here. Actually, this is a pretty good position, and we're going to take this position. Checking hit odds here. They are kind of bad. We're not shocked by this, of course.
All weapons, go.
16 damage. We'll take it. So phase 10, the Arbiter will now move. That was some very effective shooting. And by that I mean incredibly ineffective.
Yes, Commander.
The Centurion is going to sprint up as far as it can. We're not going to get LOS here. But what we can do is we can fire our LRM-10 at whatever we have the best hit odds on. That said, these hit odds are all absolute garbage, and so we shall not. The Javelin is going to sprint up over here, and that's as close as we can get. Okay. Oh, didn't quite make it in. There we go. We made it in. Fantastic. Turrets are now online. Our friend the Cyclone moves up, fires on the Valkyrie, does nothing. Commando moves up and doesn't fire. I like it. Okay, so 2 evasive pips versus 3 evasive pips. Would this be a charge? This would be a charge. Would this be a charge? No, it wouldn't. Interesting. So this guy's already moved. Neither or none of these 3 have moved. Only a 47% kick chance. I think we're not going to take this just yet, and we are instead going to position somewhere around here. And we'll take what our best hit odds are, which is on the Valk. Okay. The Valk moves up. Misses the Light Thunderbolt emplacement entirely. I love it. That's great.
Good to go.
The Clint is, at this point, going to move in here. And I would absolutely love to get into rear arc of this Talon. That would be ideal, but I don't think that's something that we can do. The Clint's rear armor is reasonable. And I think we take this. Yes, we're exposing our rear arc to these 2 mechs. The idea here is, well, looking at our movement times, both of these mechs are going to move before our stealth does, which is unfortunate. But at the same time, this is such a good opportunity. Do we take this risk? What do they have for weaponry? The Talon has triple energy, ballistic, and energy on the Arbiter.
Ready for orders.
I'm going to come in on the side arc here. We're not going to fire the Rocket 15. Next round. And that right there, that miss, that's why I decided to do this.
Reporting negative damage.
Okay, I'm glad I decided to do that, because we missed the melee attack. Couple of hits in on the Valkyrie there. So, phase 14. This is, of course, their Talon that will move. I would probably place it behind the Clint here, and melee attack. The danger there would be the stealth, though. Okay. We knew the Clint was going to take some damage when we missed. That was always going to be a thing, but this is not a great position, in my opinion, for the Talon. We can very, very easily engage up here now with the stealth, now that both of these have moved. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to go for the rear arc on the Valkyrie. And that's a melee attack.
When I shoot you, you'll take
Not
it
the best
and
focus on the weapon fire there, but that's okay. That's a shoulder destruction on the Valk. Was that just through armor ammo there? Or... no? Okay. Good to know. That Valkyrie is going to take heavy damage over the course of this turn. I would love to get into rear arc of this Talon, but that's not going to happen. Instead, I think what we're going to do is we're just going to close in a little bit over here. I'm not going to go for the Valkyrie here. I am going to go for the Talon. And we're going to fire the light tag as the priority. That was some good damage. I like it. Would have preferred that they fire on the Valk, but okay. I would have really preferred that that be on the Valk. Those turrets were very ineffective. That was a good shot, though. Good job, Mobile HQ. And some damage to the Talon there.
Receiving you.
Our Javelin is, I think, at this point going to come in and rear arc. We're going to have to punch, but that's okay. Rear arc punch the Talon.
Confirmed.
And we did hit that punch. Fantastic. That's a structure exposure on the Talon. Next up, the Stealth is going to come up and attack one of these two. The Arbiter or the Commando. The Commando has much less armor and is much more likely for us to be able to eliminate it quickly. So we're going to come up there and boop. Fantastic. That's a lot of rear arc damage. Didn't really take anything out, but that Commando is quite weak. The large laser, not doing so well. As in, I don't think it's ever had the large laser functional. The Talon going for the Centurion. I like it.
Standing by.
At this point, the Clint, I feel like, is also going to come back here and go for the kick on the Arbiter. And here we are going to fire the Rocket 15. Yes, we will overheat. That's okay.
Copy. Engaging.
That's another hit. And that's a dead Arbiter. Basically, a full-on one-shot on that Arbiter. I like it.
I'm out of short-range missiles.
Okay, the Valkyrie moves up. Goes for the Javelin and misses. Sounds good to me. We'll see what our allies do here. Dervish firing on that Valkyrie. And that should make it unsteady. Indeed it does. Fantastic. Firing on the Talon, I don't necessarily love that, but the Cyclone moves up, doesn't really do anything. Phase 13, the Commando moves. Misses the Stealth. I like it.
Awaiting orders.
Okay, at this point, I think our Centurion is going to close in on the Valkyrie and go for this rear arc attack. Get in there.
We'll go.
Nice hit.
Target's taking a...
And that's an ejection. Perfect.
Tango down.
Next up, our hunchback friend closes in, fires on the Talon. That's a great hit right there. I like that one a lot. Our Thorn friend closes in, fires on the Talon. Gets a little bit more internal there. Some crit rolls with those machine guns. That's an engine destruction. Okay, the turret doing work there.
Picking up a new sensor trace. Looks like enemy reinforcements.
Okay, so reinforcements dropping here. They're likely also somewhere else. The question is where? So that's a Watchman, Razorback. Okay. Is there a second lance that dropped? If there is, I don't see it. Okay, that's a structure exposure on the stealth, apparently.
Wow.
I'm not a fan of that.
Bad.
Yeah, from that direction. Well, no, that would have been from this direction. Okay.
Yes, Commander.
So the Clint is going to come up here, and I don't want to charge this commando, actually. What we're going to do is we're going to position over here with the Clint,
Coordinates received.
and we're going to fire on whoever our best hit odds are over here. They're not going to be great, but it looks like the Watchman or the Razorback, and we're going to go into long-range targeting mode here. And we're going to fire... Our hit odds went down from long range here? I'm actually surprised that this isn't long range. Okay. We're better off in short range targeting here.
No joy.
Okay. So, at this point, the Javelin is going to move up here, and that would be a charge. So we're going to move up to here, I think.
Got it.
And we're going to look to fire on this Commando. Fantastic. The Commando's down.
Tango is trash.
Now, the real question is... what's in this arm? Nothing. There's nothing in that arm. More guys out here, perhaps.
Commander,
Okay. The Centurion is going to move up to here.
on my way.
And we're going to just pot shot out over this direction. I mean, our hit odds are exceptionally low, right? But I think we're going to attempt to tag this Watchman. And I'm going to fire the Ultra AC-5 in X1 mode. Our hit odds are low enough that it's not really worth it.
Affirmative.
We did manage to hit that. And we tagged the Watchman. That's huge. Centurion moves up, goes for the allied vehicle. We don't care. Hornet closes in, goes for the Clint. Hits everything there, which is a little sad, but we only had the one evasive pip.
Waiting for orders.
So, we need to protect the right side for the stealth. I'd love to get the stealth somewhere out over here. This would be not protecting the right side. So we would need to take it, like, up over this way. Somewhere, like, here-ish. And try to protect that right side. So we position the stealth out here. 4 evasive pips. I'm going to vigilance it as well. And we'll just check our hit odds here. Mostly looking for heavy laser hit odds. And the answer is the Centurion, it looks like. Okay.
Right, Commander.
Yeah, that was some good damage there. Okay, there's a hatchetman out there somewhere. Flanking our allies. Okay. I figured it was probably somewhere out there. The Hunchy is engaging the hatchetman. And we're going to have to leave our allies to this. Yeah, we see a Sentinel, a Whitworth down there. We are going to have to leave our allies to that, and we'll come back to that later. We will engage up here while our allies hold. Okay, the Thorn is going to go for that Hatchetman. That's a decent chunk of damage there. The Cyclone is also turning on the Hatchetman. This is good. This is what we want them to do. Although, it only hit with 2 machine gun ticks there, which isn't great. The Dervish turns, fires on that Hatchetman. It gets a few hits in there. That wasn't very useful. Okay, so this Hornet has AMS apparently. Good to know. Now, as far as this goes, I don't want to move the stealth right now. I want to let them move before we move the stealth. The stealth is vigilanced, it has 4 evasive pips, it's in a reasonable position. Okay. Looks good to me. I don't care about that. Mobile HQ, firing on that Centurion and missing. Okay. Phase 18. So that guy will get to move. Trigger that AMS off the Hornet. I like it. It didn't manage to hit any of those. Fascinating. So the Watchman is going to fire over here. Sure. At this point, the Hornet moves, as well as the Razorback. That's fine. We don't mind this. Okay, the Hornet goes for the Clint, hits almost everything again, which is unfortunate. The Clint is now unsteady, but it does get to move again.
Standing by.
So we would move the Clint up over... Well, actually, we would need to, like, vigilance this guy to get him sprinted into cover, because his armor is getting pretty low here. We could sprint him into here, and we would expose the left side here. This arm is in danger, but there's nothing in there. This torso is in danger. There's a double heatsink and the ERPPC. So I would definitely prefer to expose the left side like this. So we'll position the Clint like this, in cover, vigilanced, with 3 evasive pips, and we're going to see who our hit odds are best on, and it is the Hornet. Okay, go ahead and light him up. We missed with the ERPPC, but we got some good hits in with the pulse lasers. Our friend the Dervish firing on that Hatchetman. Doing some decent damage there.
Ready for orders.
So our Javelin needs to close in over this way, there's no doubt about that.
Let's move.
We're probably not going to be able to hit anything here with the SRMs, is my guess. We're going to fire them, but that AMS is probably going to shoot them down. Never mind, the AMS is already fully fired for this round. That's very good to know. Structure exposure in that Thorn as well. These guys are not doing a fantastic job taking out this Hatchetman, I gotta say.
Good to go.
So at this point, our stealth is going to engage in... Actually, over here is pretty good. If we turn like this, though, our right side is very exposed. Alternatively, we could come up here. And I like it.
Sprinting.
We're going to do that. 4 evasive pips in cover. And we can fire on... Looks like the Centurion again. Right into that side arc. Yeah, we're weakening that side arc quite a lot. Phase 14. He is coming up and charging this Hatchetman and missing. That's not great for our ally. The Hatchetman backs off, fires on the Dervish. Gets some decent damage in there.
Awaiting orders.
At this point, our Centurion moves up,
On the
and
move.
we are going to engage probably on this Hornet, is my guess here. Yeah, I want this Hornet dead. Sadly, our Ultra Autocannon missed both shots.
Take that.
We did manage to destroy a heat sink on the Hornet. Our friend the Hunchback firing on that Hatchetman and doing a good amount of damage. The armor is definitely coming down on that. And that is a dead dervish. Sad. SRM ammo explosion. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. We don't care about that. Nice thermobaric explosions on that Hornet there. The other turret's doing literally nothing. That, I can't say I like. Now, here, I still want to reserve the Clint until after these guys move. We're vigilanced in cover with evasive pips. And I don't want that to change. However, the Javelin closing in, I do want. And I'm going to close in to here. We're going to block for the Clint a little bit.
Roger.
Position here, in cover. And we're going to attempt to light up this Hornet. Now, I'm not sure if this is out of AMS ammo or not. But it's not relevant. We did get a few hits in there. Okay. So it's not out of AMS ammo. But that's fine. It isn't any of these guys that's going to move. Okay. That wasn't a good shot. That is for sure. Well, let's see what they decide to do here. The Watchman moves up. Fires on the Javelin. Doesn't get much done.
Damage is light.
Okay. Sounds good to me. What else? This is a melee attack on the Clint from the Hornet. It does manage to hit. That's unfortunate. But not the end of the world. Okay. Now, unfortunately, I do have to put a cut in here just because it took longer than expected to do the patching process today. So I'm running a little short on time. I apologize, but we will have to finish this episode next time, or rather this mission next time. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.